This is 3 News Daily.
Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, February 23rd. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from around Northeast Ohio. And we start today with developing news. The National Transportation and Safety Board has released its preliminary report on the investigation into the East Palestine train derailment on February 3rd. Part of that report shows that at one point, an axle on the train was 253 degrees hotter than normal temperature. Standard procedures require train crews to stop and inspect trains when the axle temperatures are between 170 degrees and 200 degrees above normal temperature. We now learn that Norfolk Southern's crew didn't stop or inspect the train axle until it reached that critical 253 degree mark. Today, the NTSB held a press conference to talk about their findings.
Car number 23 was a hopper car, which carried plastic pellets. It was the combination of the hot axle and the plastic pellets which started the initial fire. We have no evidence that the crew did anything wrong. And during this deceleration, the wheel bearing failed. Car number 23 derailed, and the train initiated an emergency brake application and came to a stop. So the emergency brake application was triggered by the derail.
Now that was Jennifer Homendy, the chair of NTSB. You can find that full press conference up on our website on WKYC.com. I'm sure there are lots of questions, and those questions were at least attempted to be answered today by NTSB. So coming up tonight, our team will break down what NTSB is saying about the situation in East Palestine. Now also today, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources laid out the results of their investigation to see how wildlife has been affected by the toxic chemical released following the derailment. ODNR says they sampled a 7.5-mile stretch of impacted waters from the train derailment at Sulphur Run to Leslie Run, which eventually leads to Little Beaver Creek. ODNR estimates a total of 38,000 minnows and 5,500 other species of fish and amphibians died right after the derailment. Officials say fish in the area now, though, are doing okay.
It's important to stress that these small fish that we did find are all believed to have been killed immediately after the derailment. We haven't seen any signs of fish in distress since that time. So because the chemicals were contained, we haven't seen any additional signs of aquatic life suffering. And in fact, we have seen live fish already return to Leslie Run.
Now, ODNR said that no large animals like deer, for example, were killed as a result of the derailment. They also studied the Ohio River from East Palestine to Jefferson County and say they haven't seen any impact to fish in those areas. Now, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is visiting East Palestine today as well, nearly 3 weeks since the hazardous train derailment. The head of the Federal Railroad Administration and the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration is here with him too. And in a press briefing earlier today, Buttigieg said that now that NTSB has released its preliminary report, the Department of Transportation can start creating policies to make sure another disaster like this never happens again. Now to Little Rock, Arkansas, where a plane on its way to Columbus crashed on Wednesday afternoon, killing all 5 of the people on board. Those victims were trying to get here to Northeast Ohio. We're told that they worked for an environmental consulting firm and were coming to help clean up in Oakwood Village. That's where a deadly explosion happened at the I. Schumann and Company plant on Monday. They were also planning to help the residents of East Palestine. Now, it's believed that the plane flew into a line of thunderstorms. The FAA and NTSB still have to investigate to determine the official cause of that crash. Now, 1 year ago, families just like yours and mine were waking up in Ukraine, finding themselves in the middle of a war. Millions had to flee or be caught in Russian airstrikes. That's the day Ivan Prodanik left his home and his family, brought them here to Northeast Ohio. Today, he's putting on a show to try and support his people.
I left Ukraine the first day of war.
Ivan Prodanik was living a peaceful and happy life as an attorney in Irpin, just outside Bucha, with his wife and 2 daughters.
Like all Ukrainians, we are sleeping in this time at home. And when the war started, it's horrible news for all of us.
He had to make a snap decision, stay or flee. After a 3-month journey, he made it to Northeast Ohio, where his parents live in North Royalton. But many people were left behind.
I have a brother who now is Ukrainian soldier, and now he's fighting for our freedom, for our independence. I'm very proud of him because it's a very encouraging person.
Ivan's town of Irpin was one of the first invaded. The main bridge was destroyed in an effort to stop Russian troops from crossing.
This bridge was damaged, and a lot of people who wants to evacuate from the city was near and under this bridge. Serdecznie źle, and we was very scared and angry that our city was damaged.
Now, Ivan uses his legal background for USCRI, a refugee agency in Cleveland, helping families like his find employment, get documentation, and find a place to live. And on this milestone of 1 year since he was forced to flee, Ivan is doing the other thing he loves, performing music, putting on a concert to benefit Ukraine.
I'm walking the long road, watching the sky fall.
We just want to remind in Cleveland, in United States, that the war doesn't finish now, and all support very, very important for us.
It will be a long road to freedom and a journey he hopes will lead him home.
I not hope, I'm really sure and that my city, when the war finished, will be perfect, will be better.
A good reminder that there is still a lot of struggle going on in Ukraine. Still, a year later, very, very hard to believe that we're here. And Ivan's concert is free and open to the public. He's hoping people will come and help support. It's at 7 p.m. tonight at the Parma branch of the Cuyahoga County Public Library. Now, Ivan is asking for donations that will go towards refugees here and back in his home country in Ukraine. Now, here's an important update for us here in Cleveland as well. City Dogs Cleveland is out of space. Dogs are coming in faster than they're being adopted. Their max capacity is 155 dogs, but right now they are 20 dogs over that limit. That was at last check. And City Dogs is working with their rescue and shelter partners because they just don't have space for all of the dogs that need a safe place right now.
Have to house them in other areas where our staff are very creative. We set up pop-up crates, that sort of thing, to be able to house them for now until we can assess them and put them up for adoption.
City Dogs really needs help right now. The goal is obviously to reunite owners with their pets if those pets have been lost. The other big push, though, is getting these dogs adopted and into forever homes. Right now, the adoption fee is just $21, so that includes your dog license, microchipping the dog, and spaying or neutering, and also vaccines. So if you've been thinking about adopting a dog, bringing a dog into your home, now is a great time to do it. All right, before we go, let's highlight a special author for today's tribute to Black History Month. Here's a little bit about Toni Morrison.
Toni Morrison grew up in Lorain, Ohio. In 1965, she was the first Black female editor at book publisher Random House. In 1993, Morrison was the first Black woman and second American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012. Some of her notable novels include The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, and Beloved. We salute Black history maker Toni Morrison for her contributions to literature.
Another great segment from our producer, Cedric, who's been doing a wonderful job with these vignettes for Black History Month. Thank you very much for that, Cedric. All right, We're going to end things on an up note, and we're going to celebrate Cleveland a little bit more before we say goodbye today. There are all kinds of versions of Monopoly. I personally own the Cantonopoly version. Well, Cleveland is getting its own edition, and the people behind it say that it'll have special names for the spots on the board paying tribute to our iconic landmarks, and there will be customized community chest and chance playing cards. I cannot wait to see what they come up with for that. And they want to know what you come up with for it. They want your help to make it perfect. So you can send suggestions to the official Cleveland Monopoly email. That email is cleveland@toptrumps.com. We also have it linked on WKYC.com. And the edition is expected to go on sale in October. I'm already thinking about the things that definitely need to be on that list. Obviously, the Terminal Tower, that's definitely got to go up there. The Hope Memorial Bridge, you know, we need our stadiums on there across Cleveland. This is going to be a good one. The flats? How can you not have the flats? Okay, I'm done. Thanks for being here with us for 3 News Daily today. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more of your top stories from around Northeast Ohio. Have a great Thursday, everybody.